Hello everybody and welcome back to Conor here in some pretty trying times for us guys as the human race. And listen, I've not been on, I've had a lot of things going on, but onwards and upwards, positivity and all that. And we're back here with I don't really know guys. I think what I'm going to do for this video is I'm going to do 5 things that has impressed me for this season. This season that has impressed, the things that I have absolutely enjoyed watching Leeds thoroughly. And guess what? This is completely off the cuff. Normally I'll plan my videos, normally I'll schedule, bullet point, but I don't want to do that today. I just want to go off the cuff and talk from me to you, because I feel like I've not done that for a long time, and I know a lot of you have been asking me, where are you, Conor, all this sort of stuff. Is everything alright? I am fine. I hope you're all fine. I hope you're taking the necessary precautions. I'm hoping Boris turns around and says, look, no more pubs, no more cinemas, no more this, no more that, because that is what we need. We need to be inside and, with family and friends. That's what we need, and I hope you're all doing fantastically well. If you're not, hang in there. It will get better. That is the cycle of life. It does get better, and it will get better. And to anyone infected with the coronavirus, stay safe. Keep your heads. It will, as I said, it will turn around. I'm no medic, but I know it will. Life turns in cycles like this. Do you know what I mean? So hang in there and learn a language. Do something like that behind closed doors. I've always found keeping the mind mentally stimulated is something that gets you through even the toughest times. Do you know what I mean? So learn a language. Do something different. Teach yourself something that you don't know. Get some more neuron pathways going in your brain. But anyway, let's get into it. 5 things that I've been thoroughly impressed with this season. Number 1, Jack Harrison. Jack Harrison for me has just been an absolute revelation. An absolute revelation this year. We're talking all last season about his replacement in Jack Clarke, coming on every single time. Leeds actually getting Clarke back on loan from Spurs. All this madness, and Jack Harrison was going away in the summer, went to New York City, practicing, doing his shuttle runs, doing all this sort of stuff, improving so many elements of his game. He's quicker. I find that he's got a yard of pace now. I didn't think he had that last season. He's not running himself into trouble either. There was too many times where he'd muddle himself up and then he'd have 15 touches where he needed 2 or 3. Listen, I won't lie about it. I was one of the ones who sort of wanted to get rid of Jack Harrison last year. I wanted a proven winger in. We got Costa in. I wanted another one on the other side. And I will, if you go and check my videos out in the summer, that is exactly what I wanted. I wanted another man on the wing, and I didn't want Jack Harrison. But Bielsa persisted with him, and I think this kid has got to a new level. And if we can get to the Premier League with this guy for 8 million, I mean, wow, what a steal that would be, and I would be fully on board with that, and then we'll have 2 set wingers in Costa, Jack Harrison. They're getting a sort of familiarity with each other now as well, which is massively important, and the team is now, it's gelling for me. You're seeing the reaps of it. They're understanding each other's pathways, they're understanding where they're going to be running, they're understanding the game plays a lot more, and you're seeing much more of an understanding this year. And one of the pivotal reasons for that is Jack Harrison. I think he's been absolutely phenomenal. And alongside Stuart Dallas, he'd be one of my players of the season. Number 2, Costa. Now, I know this is going to be very controversial. I know, a lot of you will think, well, with the 5 things, we'd want some things which have provided a little bit more. But for me, Costa, his defensive work has just been fantastic, and he's given us something different on that other side. Obviously, I love Pablo, but Pablo's a luxury player, and on that right-hand side last season, you wouldn't really see him. You'd see him try, he slides in and he tries to get back defensively, but I feel Costa has brought Luke Ayling's game on absolutely monumentally, because his defensive runs are absolutely pivotal. I mean, I think last game he had 11 defensive duels, and I think he won 8 of them, and he's getting better and better and better. And if he actually adds goals to his game, he's going to be worth 25-30 million once again, Costa for me. I think he's playing the Bielsa way. At Wolves, what he'd do is he was a lot more pragmatic, because Wolves didn't play the same sort of as fluid as Leeds, and as sort of intent on passing. They were very quick getting up the field, very quick at counter-attacking, defensively strong. Then they get up the pitch exceedingly quick. For me, even quicker than Leeds United. But Leeds are a lot more of a passing side. And I think Helder now, instead of shooting, which he used to do at Wolves, he'd shoot on sight, he'd dribble past 2 or 3 men. I think it's been absolutely drilled into him. You forget those first like 6 or 7 games where he didn't play. And I think that was the reason, because Bielsa and the staff probably got him in there and saw a player there who was playing in that Wolverhampton Wanderers way. He needed to play the Leeds United way. He needed to play for the unit. He needed to play the Bielsa way. So I think that was sort of trained out of him to get the passing aspect. And I understand that a lot of people are turning around saying he needs to add goals to his game. But you've got to understand that factor. You've got to understand, you know, how a player's style can adapt, and they have to adapt. A big example I would use for that is Joe Linton at Newcastle. Joe Linton was an unbelievable player at Hoffenheim. The reason was because he pressed. You know, Hoffenheim played that system where they would press on that last man as a unit. Now he's at Newcastle. They play defensively, so his game is completely changed, probably for the worse. But Helder Costa is the exact same. Wolves play a different style of play to Leeds, and we've given the likes of Bamford, we've given the likes of Harrison the chance to bed in. And I think, arguably, Bamford and Harrison last year have been a lot worse than Helder Costa has this year in his first season. I think the only reason people are saying the Helder Costa thing is because he's 15 million. But guys, in today's modern market, 15 million is nothing. It is nothing. Jack Harrison for 8 million would be daylight robbery. 15 million in today's current climate for a 25, 26-year-old Portuguese international, ex-Benfica, ex-Wolverhampton, played in the Premier League, got X amount of assists in the Championship, X amount of goals. You know, Leeds weren't the only team in for him, and the fact we got him and the fact we've got him over the line is a big thing, and I think Helder Costa's going to get better and better. Number 3 is the consistency and the gelling of the team. I think last season at this point, obviously with the coronavirus, which is horrendous, let's touch wood, let's hope that improves, and it's looking like we are going to be playing the remainder of our fixtures. But last season, I think there was more sloppiness in our play, a lot more sloppiness and not a lot of assurance. And now you can see the team's been together for nearly 2 years, and you know, when years have gone by with McDermott and you know, all the dodgy managers that we've had that, you know, I could reel off, but I'm not gonna, Christensen, etc. The team's changed massively every single summer. But now with Bielsa's only made a couple of additions. You know, we've only had 2 or 3 going out the door, and we've got a consistency, and there is a big thing to success with that. You know, I always say you look at Burnley, and Burnley kept that core group when they were in the Championship to the Premier League, and still probably now for a long time, and it's attributed to the success because players learn how each other play. You know, they play to the strengths, they understand each other's pathways, like I said earlier. You know, it's like drawing a map, they understand where to go. And I think the exact same with Sheffield United. You know, Sheffield United, that unit has been together for so long now. Yeah, they've sprinkled it with a bit of fairy dust, but that core spine of Sheffield United has been there for such a long time, and I do think there is definitely a success factor down to that. And I think now this Leeds team has been together for 2 years. I think it's a massive factor, and you're seeing an adaptation and an understanding from all the players that this is our time. You know, I still think we're the best team in the division, and I think we're proving it a lot this season, and I think that is a maturity and it's an understanding of each and every player and each and every player's quality. And I think we've had players that have come into the system this year who fit in seamlessly, and that's got to be an excellent sort of kudos to the recruitment. My number 4 would be Bielsa. Bielsa really, and the team. I think, you know, Victor Orta, I think obviously the recruitment's been a lot better this year. You know, the additions, obviously we couldn't help the Nketiah situation, but I think with what he did, you know, bringing in Nketiah, and it was an excellent signing, you know, and I do think it still fit the model. It would have fit the model, and I would be very happy if Eddie was still here. But it's more of a contingency plan last year. I felt last year we weren't, you know, we're getting used to Bielsa, we're getting used to Orta, that relationship wasn't properly established, but now it is. You know, you look at that Helder Costa thing, a lot of people were questioning that, but Bielsa stuck by him, he's played him, Costa's got better and better and better, and people are noticing it now. And the recruitment with Jack Harrison, you know, that potential, that obligation to buy at the end, maybe with Jack Harrison, and just that understanding that, you know, it will happen, the success will happen if we pursue with these players and we bring the right kind of players in. And I think that trust between Victor Orta and Bielsa has got stronger and stronger and stronger. And I think, you know, our acquisitions this year, you look at JKA who's come in, he's going to be ready-made for the Premier League. You know, we go up, we've got that obligation to sign him, where we make that the biggest signing in our history. We break the transfer record, I think it's 22 million. You know, then you look at Poveda who's not featured, but he's been readied for the Premier League, he's been readied for it. He's probably learning the Bielsa way as of now. I don't think he's fully match fit, but we're moulding players, there's a plan there, and you can see that now we're in our second season. But it is just pivotal, that relationship gets stronger and stronger. And also, when I'm talking about that, you know, number 4 being Bielsa and Orta and Conor and the backroom staff there and Radrizzani, I think Bielsa's had to adapt. And I think, you know, we were all going gung-ho last year, but I think you've seen, you know, with West Brom away, West Brom at home, Brentford away, Brentford at home, you've seen sometimes when we need to, we've dug our heels in and we've really solidified. We haven't always, you know, left ourselves completely exposed at the back. We've actually solidified, and we've maybe held for a 1-0 in stages. You know, you look at Bristol City, obviously, you know, numerous other games like that, and it is one of those where I think we've learned, we're a bit more astute, and that is down to Bielsa and the backroom staff. You know, the Championship's a mad league, and if you go hell for leather all the time, you're going to get picked off by even the worst teams in this division. And I think our defensive record just shows how much Bielsa has learned, because, you know, throughout his career, it's all been about pragmatic attacking, but now he's learning, and that's what I absolutely love about Bielsa, because he's, you know, even when he's done it and he's seen it all in the game, he is adapting. He's still learning. He's a tactician, and tacticians learn all the time, and it's all about strategy. And I think he's learned the strategy of the Championship, and I think that'll definitely guide us to promotion. And there's sort of 3 players that I want to name in this 5 bracket. And once again, we named Jack Harrison and Helder Costa, but, you know, in this 5 bracket, I want to talk about Dallas, Ben White, and Calvin Phillips, and just the sheer improvement in 2 of them over Bielsa's tenure. You know, Bielsa's tenure, Calvin Phillips and Stuart Dallas. Stuart Dallas, I was so like, oh God, he's a utility player. He's not got the quality of the other players. This is even under previous regimes where Dallas would probably be one of the better ones, but I just didn't rate him. I didn't rate him as a winger. I didn't rate him as anything really, as a midfielder in general. And I think he's just proven all of us wrong, and what a fantastic season he's had. What a fantastic end to the season he had when against Villa and Derby, Stuart Dallas was the only one who turned up. And I think, you know, you look at the progression of Stuart Dallas and Calvin Phillips, it's been absolutely exponential, and they've been phenomenal for Leeds United in these 2 years, and they've seen it all, they've done it all, and we're so lucky to have Calvin Phillips, born and bred in Leeds, and the Crookstown Cafu who embeds Leeds, and we've got so many players there. You know, honourable mentions to Luke Ayling as well, but, you know, players who've been there, Cooper, done it, and as much as sort of we wanted it, and this links into the recruitment, we probably wanted a lot of them out at some stage in the Leeds United careers. They've adapted and they've got better and they've built into it. They understand what it means to this city to get this absolute juggernaut of a club back to the Premier League, and they're feeding into it, and they're feeding into the positivity. And I just think it's absolutely phenomenal what they've done, and the progression. And Calvin Phillips, I mean, who'd have said 2 or 3 years ago? You know, I was looking at getting rid of Calvin Phillips and keeping Ronaldo Vieira on. I'm not saying Ronaldo Vieira is a bad player, you know, he's still playing in Serie A, but I wanted to keep him, and I do think it was a mistake letting Vieira go. I think financially we had to let Vieira go, but imagine the player he'd have been under Bielsa. But Bielsa chose Phillips, he saw something in Phillips and made him into that role, and has made him into a £30 million player and potentially an England starter. You know, for me, he's better than any player that we've got in that role. Harry Winks, Eric Dyer, I think he's levels ahead. And a lot of people turn around and say, well, you haven't seen him in the Premier League. I haven't, but I've also seen him put Mesut Ozil in his back pocket in the only time he's played against, you know, top class players, and he did the exact same thing against Arsenal like he does for Leeds, week in, week out. And that is the case study, that is the blueprint of why he's going to be a top player. And yeah, and then obviously Ben White, you know, looking at Ben White, I mean, we've been tracking him since his Newport days, and what an acquisition. And it goes back to the recruitment and just us tracking players like that, and you've got to have absolute success rate to our recruitment suddenly. You know, Ben White, Nketiah, Costa, JKA, Pervader, I think they've all been really good signings in their own right, and I think a lot of them will prove it. Obviously, Nketiah's gone back, but you know, I think they're a different level signing to last year. It shows that we have got a long-term plan, and I think Ben White, you know, if Brighton go down and Liverpool maybe quell their interest, then maybe there is a signing there for Leeds United if we do go up, but it all does hinge on us going up. And they're the 5 things, guys, and they all kind of nicely link into each other. But obviously in this time of negativity and us all sort of wondering what's going to go on in the football world, I think it's massive to draw on the positives, and what a fantastic season we've had as Leeds United fans. And you know, we're going into these last 9 games, whenever they're going to be played, and we're going to go in with some sass and some vigour, and I think we'll do it. I think there's too much of a momentum train behind this, and I'm not as worried as I was last season. And for me, that culminates all 5 points into one. The fact that I'm not worried, I'm not as worried as I was last season, and there's more at risk. You know, there's Radrizzani, there's Bielsa, there's Phillips, there's White. There's more at risk that can go wrong. But there's something about this unit, there's something about this squad that is giving me that sort of understanding that I feel okay. They're making me feel okay about this team, and don't worry, we'll get it done. And I just think it's been a wonderful season, and long may it continue. And hopefully when these 9 games get played, and I think they will get played, we'll do it. I think we'll do it. And yeah, guys, I just wanted to do something a little bit different. The 5 things that have really impressed me this season, the 5 things that I'm massively happy with. Let me know what you think with the 5 things in the section below. What are your 5 things? What sort of content do you want to see, guys? Put it in the section below. I hope you've liked it. I'm sorry I've been gone for a while, but we're going to try and get loads of content out, guys. As I've said, my uni's shut, my course is sort of like done at this moment in time. Everything's been done online, so I think we're going to have a little bit more time as well. Unfortunately, the means of technology, yeah, that's sort of, we're trying to figure that one out, but we've got some good things coming. So let me know what you think in the comment section below, guys. Don't forget to smash a like on the video. We'll see you in a bit.